Hi, and welcome to the 2015 Student Educational Video Awards Winners Reel. This year, we've had nearly 400 entries from 54 schools in Sacramento County. 5 categories: creative expression, documentary, instructional, public service announcements, and school news. Over the next 60 minutes, we're going to run through this year's winning SEVA videos. Our first category is creative expression. In the Creative Expression 7 through 8 slot, Andrew Carnegie Middle School took the award with a book trailer video entitled, Mick, Harte Was Here.
Just let me say right off the bat, it was a bike accident. It was about as accidental as you can get, too. Like, Mick wasn't riding crazy or dodging in and out of traffic, and both of his hands were on the handlebars and all like that. His tire just hit a rock, and he skidded into the back of a passing truck, and that was that. There wasn't a scratch on him. It was a head injury, period. So this isn't the kind of book where you meet the main character and you get to like him real well and then he just dies in the end. I hate those kind of books, and besides, I can't think of anything worse than using my brother's accident as the tear-jerking climax to some tragic story. I don't want to make you cry. I just want to tell you about Mick.
Sammy Mike of Franklin High School has created a remarkable video to take the Creative Expression 9 through 12 award. Here's Gaudy Girls.
Anyway, so I was talking to Joe. Knock, knock. Oh, hey, Steph, come on in. Okay. Oh my God, what are you wearing? Oh my gosh, you look so gaudy.
Thanks. I was kind of going for like Egyptian goddess.
First off, you don't look like an Egyptian goddess. You look like you're some weird twisted thing from the 80s. And second off, I said gaudy, not godly.
What does that mean?
Gaudy is an adjective that means showy to the point of being tasteless.
Well, you're such a smarty pants.
Well, you could be smart too. Use the word in a sentence.
Okay. Steph's gaudy outfit makes her look ridiculous.
See, that was very smart of you.
I know, I'm too smart for all you guys.
In the documentary K-3 category, John Ehrhardt Elementary received a SEVA for their video, Pen Pals by Doggy Express. Let's meet Clipper.
Most people get their mail from the mailman, but we get mail from our pen pals by Doggy Express. This is our Doggy Express mail carrier, Clipper. When our pen pals at Prairie Elementary School send us letters, Clipper delivers them. Seeing Clipper makes pen pals fun. Brings letters from our pen pals. Our teacher reads them to us, and we listen quietly. So does Clipper. And then we work on our letters. We draw pictures. We write stories about ourselves. Help each other get our letters ready to send to our pen pals. When we're done, Clipper is always ready to go. So, if you get a pen pal someday, maybe Clipper will deliver your letters too.
The documentary 4 through 6 category had 2 winning videos this year. Logan Clark of Mary Tsukamoto Elementary profiled 2 historic forts in our area. His video, Guardians of the Past, took the first award.
People in Sacramento are within driving distance of 2 historic forts. The first fort is Sutter's Fort, located in Sacramento, and about 2 hours away is Fort Point in San Francisco. Sutter's Fort was built in 1839 by John Sutter, who was a Swiss settler. He was made a captain in the Mexican army and was given land to establish a settlement in the area.
He never had any problems, never really needed any walls, but in order to get folks to come to his fort, he put up walls. This not only gave a sense of destination as well as security for folks that came to Sutter's Fort, but it also gave him a place to lock his things up at night. So think of this as the first mall of California, and all the different places that you see around the fort are businesses.
Sutter's Fort was near the end of the Siskiyou and California trails, and it served as a waypoint. The pioneers were impressed when they saw cannons at Sutter's Fort.
Cannons came from all over the world. Some of them were Spanish, some of them were from Italy, and a lot of them he got off of ships and other captains. The one that's in the West Yard, though, the Russian cannon, actually fought against Napoleon's, or it's a reproduction of a cannon that fought against Napoleon's army. And after the war, the Russians sold those cannons, and the Russian-American company was stationed or headquartered at Fort Sitka. And when they made the decision to come down into California in 1812 to open up Fort Ross, they brought 4 of those with them. And when Sutter bought Fort Ross, he obtained that cannon. So it was the only field piece in California at that time. All the other cannons that you would have seen in California were either mounted on the backs of wagons or on shipboard carriages.
The discovery of gold at Sutter's Mill led to the end of Sutter's Fort.
Sutter owned the fort until 1850, but the fort was unable to continue because all of his workers decided to leave the fort and go seek their fortune during the gold rush.
Fort Point is located underneath the Golden Gate Bridge. It was made to defend against hostile warships.
Well, Fort Point was originally designed as a triangular defense system in the Pacific area here. We have Fort Point here. We also have Alcatraz as a fort before it became a prison, and also Fort Baker directly across the bridge from us, and it was a triangle defense. This is part of the third system fort, so you'll see it a lot on the East Bay.
And it was built to defend the bay from any invading forces that would want to come in and steal the wealth we were finding during the gold rush. So they started building this wonderful structure in 1853, finished 8 short years later on time and on budget. In 1861, just a few weeks before our sister fort and the fort that we're modeled after, Fort Sumter, had a battle. And it was a battle that started a war, and that was the Civil War.
The fort itself have about 3 levels. First floor was the gunpowder room, and then the second floor is the officers, commissioned officers' rooms, and the third floor is the non-commissioned officers or the privates' barracks. The fort itself has a lot of history. In the local area itself, it was used during Civil War, and it was used throughout the different time periods, like during World War II, they used this as a base for the anti-submarine nets out here. They also used it as a staging ground when they were building the Golden Gate Bridge. So this fort is a little bit more than 150 years old now, and definitely part of the local community.
If you enjoy history, going to Sutter's Fort or Fort Point is great fun.
The second documentary 4 through 6 award went to Creative Connections Arts Academy. Tori tells the story of Victoria Cartwright's battle with brain cancer.
My name is Victoria, but most people call me Tori. I am a unique 12-year-old girl who once loved going to school, to the beach, and camping. Playing the piano, softball, and soccer. This is where my journey begins. On January 14th, 2013, I went into surgery to remove a brain tumor. And when I woke up, something precious was taken from me. My sight.
How long and hard was it to get Tori back to school?
It was really hard. Tori had 31 cycles of radiation, and during radiation she also had some chemotherapy. Tori's had the most amount of radiation a human body can withstand, so if and when her cancer returns, she is not able to have radiation again. She also had 3 cycles of chemotherapy with all 3 drugs. One of them is the backbone to her brain tumor. But unfortunately, we had to stop that early because the major side effect is children lose their hearing. And her dad and I discussed with Tori about obviously losing her hearing. And since she's blind, Tori said she didn't want to be like Helen Keller. She didn't want to be blind and deaf. So we made a choice as a family to stop her the backbone chemotherapy drug, so that way she could keep her hearing. So she was sick a lot of throwing up, a lot of being in and out of the hospital. It was very tiring. Tori lost a lot of weight. She ended up having to have the NG tube, and what that is they take a feeding tube and shove it down up your nose and down your throat, and it feeds you, because Tori was not able to eat. So it was a lot of tears, a lot of fighting, a lot of being sick and just not happy to get back here today.
When you found out I was coming back to school, how did that make you feel?
It made me feel really excited because I knew that I would have my best friend back, and at the same time I kind of knew that things wouldn't be exactly the same as they were before. What type of student was Tori before she was diagnosed with brain cancer and lost her eyesight?
Tori was a very enthusiastic child. She loved going to school. In fact, when she got sick, she'd cry, "Mom, please don't make me stay home. I want to go." I'd tell her, "Honey, you have to stay home. You have a fever." She did not like that. She also was an avid reader before this happened. She'd read all the time. She was one of those kids that usually you hear the parents talk about, "My kid plays too much video games." It was, "Tori reads too much."
Gracie, how long have you known me?
Well, I have known you since kindergarten, so that would be 7 years.
I've known Tori since kindergarten.
Tori struggled really hard to be able to come back to CCAA. She missed half of 4th grade and all of 5th grade while she was going through her cancer treatments. And she fought really hard. All she wanted to do was come back and come to school and be with her friends and be able to be in her exploratory classes. But now things are harder for her. She's realizing it's not the same as it used to be. I think she had that expectation that things would be exactly the way they were before she was diagnosed with brain cancer and lost her vision.
It's very hard to maneuver through my classroom because there are students' backpacks, pencils on the floor, and it's very hazardous to me because I could trip and fall easily. My biggest struggle
is noise, because the kids are tapping on the desks, humming, singing, playing with their pencils, tapping their feet, and so much more, like screaming and yelling. It's hard for me to listen to the teacher.
A lot of the noise in our classroom tends to be a struggle. I think her hearing is sensitive, and it can really throw her. And it's a challenge because classrooms get noisy, and I think students forget, and even I forget. And so I think it's hard sometimes because she does seem and appear normal like any other child, so we forget that she does have a sensitivity to noise. So that is a big struggle right now.
Another one of my struggles is making friends. I don't eat in the cafeteria like normal students do. I'm not a normal student. I sit alone in my classroom because the cafeteria is so loud. Kids are yelling and screaming and doing much more.
How do students interact with Tori?
Not very well. She tends to be ignored a lot. She's got one or two friends that say hi to her on a normal basis and, you know, interact with her, but for majority of the time they ignore her. She'll come back from testing and no one will say hi to her, and she's been gone a week. Also, it's really sad. They'll say, "Miss Vanessa, can you tell Tori whatever they want to tell her?" And I'll say, "She's right there, you tell her." I think they just don't know how to act around her, but she's no different than them. She just can't see.
Do you act differently around Tori than you do other students?
No, because she's just like always cracking jokes. She's really a fun person to be around.
Do you think kids treat me different now?
Yes, I don't know if they know how to act around you. They think that you're different, but in the end you just don't look the same. You're completely the same, but I just think that they don't know how to act. So they do act differently and a little bit nervous.
Some probably do because she can't see and she's not like them as much now, but I wouldn't treat her any different because she's Tori.
I am a teacher of the visually impaired, and I work for the Sacramento County Office of Education. And we serve students who are blind and visually impaired in the Twin Rivers District here in Sacramento.
Tori, is it hard learning Braille?
Yes, it is. It is a very complicated thing to learn.
A student who is learning, who has been born blind, is learning to read Braille. Somebody who loses their vision later, such as Tori, she already knows how to read. It's just we're having to learn a different reading medium, so Braille instead of print. So it's kind of a challenge to find curriculum that is meaningful to her, but something that she can learn to read at her level.
Mrs. Keeney, how am I doing?
Well, Tori, you're doing really well on your writing, Braille writing. You've learned a lot of contractions and a lot of shortcuts, and you're remembering them. That's really good. We need to work a little bit more on your reading so that you're using correct hand technique, using both hands, and following in the line, and being able to read the shortcuts and the contractions that you've been learning.
My favorite subject is exploratory, where I participated in a movie Above the Line.
So one time, I had my field recorder on for the whole time, and I picked up 2 actors trash-talking the director.
No way. Did you erase the evidence?
I couldn't have. It was part of the scene.
Talk about awkward. What happened to the actors?
They were quickly replaced. Lesson learned, right?
I hope so. Just let me know if you're recording, okay?
You got it. Yeah. Hey. I also made some music for the movie. One of the music that I made is for a small commercial for the movie. I I also did sound for the movie. If there was any background noise in the movie, I would yell cut and then tell Mr. Pham that there was background noise and we needed to do it again.
How did Tori do in exploratory class?
I think Tori did great. Again, it was, I didn't know what to expect from her, what I could challenge her with, what she could do. But then when she came on set, when she started class, she met all the expectation and more, and I think she did wonderful. I don't think she ever stopped taking any of the challenges.
Not only did she act in the scene, but she participated in the crew too.
And did sound for behind the scenes. She did some of the planning and some of the writing where the scene that she was in. She showed up on Saturday shoots when we were at school, so she did the extras. So she did poster shoots. She did everything that everybody else did. So for her to step up and do, again, everything from behind the scenes to actually acting, she did more than what some students did. So she did an excellent job.
I teach children who are blind or have low vision how to get around safely in their environment. For some kids, that might mean a white cane. For other kids, they might just need some intense street crossing lessons or learning how to ride public transportation, or even just how to get to all their classes.
Miss Z, how am I doing in mobility?
I think you're doing great. Right now, with your strength, you still need to hold on to somebody to get around, but you're learning how to use your cane. For when you do have the strength to get around by yourself, you'll have the cane skills to be able to do it safely. Different. Those that have been blind all their life, they really feel a need for a cane right away. They're used to either being guided by somebody or maybe having something in front of them. So in that sense, they're more open to it. If I have a student who has lost their vision, it's more fearful because they know what they're missing. But on some things, when it comes to figuring out how to get around a campus, they're able to figure out ahead of time in their mind, kind of map it out in their mind. I've noticed that those skills are better for students who have had vision and have lost it versus students who have not.
You came to Seattle to see me while I was in treatment. How did that affect you?
I guess since then I didn't really know what to expect. When I got there and I saw you, you didn't look like I remembered you. You didn't have your hair anymore. You had lost a lot of weight and you had a tube in your nose, and it kind of scared me because it wasn't what I remembered, and that wasn't how I remembered you.
While Tori was going through treatment, you were able to FaceTime with her. You saw the changes in Tori. How did that affect you?
I felt sad because all of her hair was gone and she looked weird. But I guess that's how you're supposed to look after you went through cancer.
Tori, how do you feel about having to miss school to go to Seattle Children's Hospital for your brain cancer testing?
Well, I have all of the absolutely wonderful doctors and nurses to help me on my journey to help me get better, but it just makes me feel sad. Missing school, I don't have an everyday kid type of life. Having to go to Seattle to have testing done, not being able to interact with my friends, it just makes me feel sad and it doesn't feel right.
So Tori, how are you feeling this morning?
Scared.
Why are you scared?
Because I hate MRIs and plus I need to go to sleep for them and I don't really like it.
How do they put you to sleep?
Anesthesia.
So what's your greatest fear, Tori?
For my cancer to come back.
Why is that?
Because if it comes back, there's nothing that they can do.
How did you feel when you were first diagnosed?
I didn't like it at all. I was upset, I was crying, and I didn't want my life to be this way, but I believe that God has a plan for everybody. During radiation, My doctor had to make me the specialized mask. It's to keep my head from moving, because in radiation, you can't move your head at all. Chemo was not fun at all. It made me nauseous, and I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good all the time. Even the smell of food made me nauseous. I was throwing up all the time. I just didn't feel good.
But I continue to fight every day. Even in my darkest days, I chose to get up and fight instead of lay down and die. I believe in today, hope for a cure, and fight for my future. Would you choose to lie down and die, or get up and fight?
Winston Churchill Middle School took home the documentary 7 through 8 SEVA for their video, Stop Stereotyping. Let's take a look.
I think we can stop stereotyping by getting to know someone before we judge them so that we don't make something out of nothing.
I think that society has put labels on everything, and I want to know what to expect of someone when I meet them or when I see them. And so I look at them and I don't see a person, I see those labels. I see everything society expects them to see. And that's why I think people stereotype.
To stop stereotyping, we just need to see people as purely a human being and not label them or anything, and try to get to know them before you create an opinion about them.
Just because I'm Hispanic doesn't mean I'm an illegal immigrant.
Just because I'm Indian doesn't mean I have overbearing parents.
Just because I'm black doesn't mean I'm a troublemaker.
Just because I'm white doesn't mean I'm popular.
Just because I'm Asian doesn't mean I'm a genius.
Just because I'm a redhead doesn't mean I'm short-tempered.
The GI Bill is the focus of Franklin High School's winning SEVA documentary. Sammy, Mike, and company produced the GI Bill, an investment in our future.
The freedom and prosperity that we enjoy would not exist without the service of generations of Americans who are willing to bear the heaviest and most dangerous burden. But we also know this: the contributions that our servicemen and women can make to this nation do not end when they take off that uniform. We owe a debt to all who serve. And when we repay that debt to those bravest Americans among us, then we are investing in our future. Not just their future, but also the future of our own country.
You may be thinking,
Just what was President Obama talking about? What did he mean by the future of our nation? Well, let me introduce you to Sammy, a high school senior with quite the experience with what we call the GI Bill. Originally named the Servicemen's Readjustment Act in 1944, this bill was created to provide a range of benefits for U.S. war veterans. But what about the families behind these servicemen and women? The wives, the sons, the daughters, the husbands forced to live their lives in separation from the ones they love.
My name is Sammy Mike, and this is my story. I would say January of 2007, my life completely changed. My dad so graciously enlisted in the Army Reserves. By January of 2007, he was deployed to go to Baghdad, Iraq. I know that 2007 was one of the hardest years in the war. He would barely call. We would barely talk to him maybe once a day for like 2 or 3 minutes sometimes. And my mom was having a hard time because she never thought that she would ever have to be a single parent. And here she was having to raise me on my own, going through what was hard enough for her just to be separated from her husband.
We understood what was going to happen when he was gone and what would happen while he was gone and how to adjust to life when he got back. Many times the military pay was less than the civilian pay that was my husband was getting. Doesn't quite make up for the income that was lost from my husband's civilian job. There was a military code that was passed in California in which we got to defer our mortgage for 6 months. We didn't have to pay.
Thanks to various amendments to the GI Bill, families across the nation have been able to afford their monthly payments. On top of that, every child and spouse of a United States serviceman or woman has the opportunity to gain a reduced-cost education, fostering the growth of our nation's next generation of innovators, of thinkers, of peacemakers.
I'm class 2015, whoop whoop. I'm so excited to be able to use it to pay for college, and wherever I go and whatever I'm doing, it's going to be such an amazing opportunity. And even though, yeah, my childhood might have been a little bit simpler with him home, yeah, that's true, but I wouldn't change anything for the world. I wouldn't change my story for anything. Thank you for listening.
Over in the instructional category, Green Oaks Fundamental took the K-3 SEVA with their video, How to Pick a Good Fit Book.
What book should I read?
What's wrong?
I can't find a book to read. I have that same problem. I know how to pick a book, one that's a good fit. Let's call the Good Fit Readers. We are the Good Fit Readers. We can help. How can these letters I, P, I, C, K help me? I stands for I get to choose my own book. Go to a tab and choose a book. Look at it inside and outside. P stands for purpose. You need to ask yourself, why do I want to read this book? Do I want to read for information or do I want to read for fun? I like horses and I want to learn more about horses. I, interest. Does it interest me? Sounds like you are interested in finding out more about horses. I'll help you. Here are 2 horse books. Wait, there's more. C stands for comprehend. That means you have to understand what you are reading. Yes, and if you don't know most of the words, you cannot comprehend. So K stands for knowing most of the words. Do you know most of these words? Let's see. I don't know most of the words. It's not a good fit book. How about this one? Look, I know most of the words. I comprehend what I am reading. This is a good fit book, thanks to the good fit readers. We were very happy to help you pick a good fit book. Just remember, I pick. I get to choose my own book. P, purpose. Why might I want to read this book? I, interest. Does it interest me? C, comprehend. Do I understand what I am reading? K, know. Do I know most of the words? I need to know most of the words to comprehend. I picked a good fit book. You can too. Happy reading!
Do you keep things clean and tidy in your classroom? The students at Del Paso Manor Elementary created a video to help called The Messy Cubby. Their video won the Instructional 4 through 6 SEVA. Winston Churchill Middle School snagged a SEVA for their instructional video, Methods to Handle Cyberbullying. Let's take a look.
Among 15 to 24 years old, suicide is the 3rd leading cause of death for youth. Suicide due to cyberbullying and depression claims around 30,000 lives each year. Over 16% of students seriously consider suicide, and 8% have made a serious attempt.
But wait! We aren't here to tell you about the things you've already heard. You always hear stories about cyberbullying. How has that helped? If you are suffering, we are not just going to let you become another number in the suicide statistics. If someone says something offensive to you, your first instinct may be to say something mean back, but that is not the answer. If you say something back, what is the difference between you and the bully? Don't fight fire with fire. Instead, pull out your shield. Another good way to the right path is to take out the negativity in your life. Protect yourself. Don't hurt others. The only way to stay happy is to be positive. Just because someone says something mean doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't matter what others think of you. It matters how you feel about yourself. Forget about all the negativity in the world, because light will always brighten the darkness.
Do you know Newton's 3 laws? You're in luck. Sacramento New Technology High School has created a video that explains it all. Here's the winning Instructional 9 through 12 SEVA, Newton's 3 Laws Explained.
Has this ever happened to you? This is Kareem. Kareem forgot about Newton's first law of motion. The law states that an object at rest stays at rest unless acted on by another force. Now watch as Kareem applies force to the object in order to move it. Good job, Kareem. Meet Janessa. Janessa's not moving and she wants to go faster, but she can't figure out how. She must have forgotten Newton's second law of motion. The law states that acceleration equals force divided by mass. So in order to accelerate, she must apply more force. She does this by pushing down on the gas pedal. Now watch as her car accelerates. Drive safe, Janessa. Here's Matt. Watch as he tries to push this building. Why isn't it working? Well, the answer is Newton's third law of motion. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So while Matt is pushing against the building is pushing back on Matt equally. Sorry, Matt. Better luck next time. Now that you know Newton's 3 laws of motion, you should be able to function in life without bumping into stuff. For more, call 1-800-DON'T-ACTUALLY-CALL this number. Thanks. Oh, and good luck.
Being careful online is an important message that Creative Connections Arts Academy shared with their winning K-3 PSA entitled Internet Safety. The Olathe Donner Elementary Film Academy took the 4 through 6 PSA SEVA with their video, Secondhand Smoke. Let's take a look.
I've been smoking since I could read.
I've been smoking since I was 3.
I've been smoking since I started playing.
I'm on my second pack today. I can't even remember when I had my first pack of cigarettes. Mom and Dad, we want to quit, but it's up to you.
The grades 7 through 8 PSA SEVA was awarded to Toby Johnson Middle School for their video called Decisions. Decisions provides some alternative ways to handle difficult situations.
Hey, stupid! Stupid!
Am I dumb? Did I do something wrong? Why me?
Stop!
Hey! No!
The decisions you make today will have an effect on tomorrow. Don't fight back. Try to talk to the bully. Talk to someone that cares about you.
Gabe Romo of Center High School is back this year with another winning video. His SEVA winning 9 through 12 PSA, Be a Friend sheds some light on mental illness.
Depression can inflict anybody and can be caused by a number of reasons. But no matter the costs, that person is still alone.
Still needs somebody to talk to
stand by them,
to be a friend.
The world around them seems to just walk on by. Step out.
Be a friend. For more information on how to be a friend, go to www.reachout.com.
Everyone needs a buddy at school, and John Ehrhardt Elementary is helping students do just that. They took home the K-3 School News SEVA with their video, John Ehrhardt Gets a Buddy Bench.
But this bench is important to the kids of John Ehrhardt Elementary. When the kids are lonely, they sit in the bench. When you're on the bench, kids know you want to play. When the kid is on the bench, others will play with them. Come on, let's play. A buddy bear makes people happy. Yay!
The School News 4 through 6 SEVA was given to the news crew at John Ehrhardt Elementary for their show on September 8th. Make sure you wear a helmet.
This is Ehrhardt News for the week of Monday, September 8th.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Marissa.
We've got some important news and announcements for all of you.
So listen up.
Eagles, don't forget to soar this week.
S stands for safe.
O stands for outstanding effort.
A stands for always.
R stands for respectful and responsible.
So Eagles, this week we will focus on being safe.
Let's go out to Abigail and Susanna for a public service announcement about bike helmet safety.
I'm Abigail and this is Susanna, and we have a public service announcement about bike helmet safety.
We have noticed some students not wearing bike helmets when riding to and from school.
It's not safe not wearing bike helmets.
Those 2 inches of foam on a bike helmet can save your life.
So please remember to always wear a bike helmet when riding a scooter or a bike. We will now demonstrate what might happen how bike helmets can save your life.
We will now demonstrate what might happen if you fell off your bike without a helmet.
This is your head without a bike helmet. Any questions? Back to you in the studio.
Thanks Abigail and Susanna for the demonstration about bike helmet safety.
In case you haven't noticed, we have a new teacher. Some of you may have met her.
Her name is Mrs. Ethorn.
She teaches a 3rd, 4th grade combo class.
Mrs. Ethorn, you have 30 seconds to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Ethorn, and I am a new teacher here at Ehrhardt this year. I'm teaching a 3-4 combo. I have about 15 years experience in teaching, most of it in primary classes, primary grades. Let's see, some things about me. I'm a Seahawks fan, go Hawks. A baseball fan, I'm the Giants fan. I love taking walks around the lake. I live on a lake, love going out for walks around the lake. I love my kids. I have a son, Carter, who's 7. My daughter, Molly Grace, is 4. I'm in a book club.
Thanks, Mrs. Ethorn.
The book fair in the library starts September 8th.
The book fair will be open every day after school.
Your last chance to shop at the book fair will be at Burgers and Books.
Burgers and Books is September 12th from 5 p.m. from 8 p.m.
There will be burgers, hot dogs, chips, and drinks.
Tickets are $4 in advance or $5 at the gate.
Bring your family out to the school.
For those of you wondering about band,
Mrs. B, the band teacher, will get information out soon about band.
It should be starting up soon.
So get ready to play those instruments.
That's all for now.
Thanks for watching Ehrhardt News.
First things first at Toby Johnson Middle School has dominated the 7th through 8th school news category for years. and this year they took the SEVA again with their morning news broadcast.
Good morning, Toby Johnson. I'm Connor in his First Things First period on Thursday, February 12, 2015. That means it's time for First Things First on TJTV. Our first story today brings additional excitement to the already exciting area of STEM education. Many high schools, like our own Franklin High School, have a STEM program for students who are interested in technology, engineering, and media. According to tweentribune.com, NASCAR has announced its commitment to promote STEM inside the classroom. A lot of people love NASCAR's speed, passing, and racing, but few stop to think of the science behind it. It's the horsepower and the drag and the aerodynamics that come together in a way that can only be described as NASCAR. So, it makes sense that NASCAR has partnered with the Scholastic Corporation to provide schools with fact sheets and quizzes that have developed to focus on aerodynamics. To find out more information about how NASCAR might become part of your education, check out the story on tweentribune.com. Yesterday, Toby Johnson hosted a special training event designed for students and teachers who want to learn more about creating videos. Let's go to Abby to find out more.
Hey Jags, Abby here reporting for TJTV on the grounds of Toby Johnson where the SEVA training took place. Let's take a look. The Sacramento Education Cable Consortium, or SECC, works hard to help bring video creation into classrooms. To celebrate student achievement in filmmaking, they hold the Student Education Video Awards, or SEVAs, every year. In order to encourage other schools to participate in the SEVAs, SECC provides SEVA training events throughout the year. The most recent SEVA training event was held here at TJMS. The training started off with a demonstration of how students run a TJTV broadcast. Next, a workshop about copyright followed, with many resources for media that can legally be used in video projects. The training ended with a presentation about how to make a basic movie, manage a video budget, and the supplies necessary to bring a Hollywood feel to students' video projects. We were able to ask SEVA trainer Twee Pham what motivated him to come out and give this presentation.
I love video. I love to make videos. I love to see great videos. I love to see students work with great videos.
Thanks to trainers like Twee Pham, Jim Bentley, and our very own Dana LaChapelle, a lot of people are learning how to bring Hollywood to their school broadcasts. Well, that's it for me. I'm Abby. Now back to you.
Thanks, Abby. It sounds like it was a great night. Last weekend, we got a lot of rain. But was it enough to help California with our drought? Let's go to the weather report with Paulo to find out more.
After the driest January in California's history, Mother Nature may have renewed California by bringing a storm over the weekend. But was it really enough to get us out of our possible fourth-year dry spell? The two storms that hit Northern California between Friday and Monday brought the most significant rainfall to the region since mid-December of last year. The Sacramento area gets about 3.5 inches of rain on average during this time of the year, and this weekend we got approximately 2.8 inches of rain. Minor flooding occurred, and even though it's been a lot of rain, it's not going to do much as far as the drought is concerned. Although the higher elevations received impressive totals from 4 to 7 inches, and all this rain will eventually drain into our reservoirs, it barely made a dent to the drought. Experts say it will take an immense series of storms to pull us out of the drought this season. Remember, just because we got a lot of rain this weekend, it does not mean you could take a 20-minute shower. So conserve water and keep California from drying out. I'm Paulo with your weather report. Now, back to you.
Thanks, Paulo. I think if we all cut down on our shower time, we might be able to save California. Speaking of California, the measles have become a big concern in our state and the U.S. Our reporter, Tiana Hall, went to learn more from the experts at Kaiser Permanente.
Hey Jags, Tiana here in front of Kaiser Permanente Hospital to learn more about the measles outbreak that is spreading across the country. I'm here with Dr. Rogerson, the chief of a very busy emergency department. So Dr. Rogerson, specifically how do you get the measles and what are they?
The measles is a virus that you can track from other people that have
measles. It's pretty contagious. You just have to be in the room with someone who has the measles that's coughing or sneezing. In congested areas like Disneyland, which has been in the news a lot lately, you just have to be in an amusement park and coughing and sneezing, and you're going to spread it to lots of people.
And we haven't heard about the measles in a long time, so why are we all of a sudden hearing about them now?
There's been concerns about vaccinations. Lots of parents have chosen not to vaccinate their children, and now when disease is brought in from outside the country, where it's still a big problem in other parts of the world, people get measles and it spreads more commonly.
So if you don't want to end up here after your next visit to Disneyland, make sure you get vaccinated. I'm Tiana reporting for TJTV. Now back to you.
Thanks, Tiana. Now let's go to Bella to find out what's happening on campus.
Hey Jags, Bella here with some important deadlines and details to help you stay informed about what's happening on campus. To start off, the next meeting of the World Cooking Club is this afternoon at 3 o'clock in room MH8. This week's theme is Italian food. Tomorrow, leadership applications are due to Ms. Kincaid in MC5 no later than 3 o'clock. Next week, TA applications are available in the Student Services on Monday, February 16th, and they're due on Friday the 20th. There's a meeting next Wednesday at 8 a.m. in the gym for those of you interested in being part of the track and field team. And next Thursday, the Board and Game Club meets in MG3 right after school until 4 o'clock. Now you've got the what's what on campus, deadlines, and details. I'm Bella, now back to you, Connor.
Thanks, Bella. If you love desserts, then you'll love our next story. Let's go to Trisha for some tasty news.
Hi, I'm Trisha reporting for TJTV here at Vampire Penguin, one of the newest and trendy restaurants in Elk Grove.
Located at 9135 West Stockton Boulevard in Elk Grove, the Elk Grove Vampire Penguin is the newest location owned by brothers Leo San Luis and Paulo Angelo San Luis.
I'm here with Paulo, one of the owners of Vampire Penguin. Tell us about Vampire Penguin.
Well, of course, we specialize in shaved snow, which is a very light, fluffy, airy dessert, paired with fresh toppings, fresh fruits, a lot of decadent stuff like brownies, cakes. One of my favorite items in the menu that Vampire Penguin serves is the strawberry cheesecake, of course. That's a classic. The snow tiger is always good, too.
Instead of starting with plain ice, the process begins with an ice cream-like blend of fruit concentrates and non-dairy cream, which is shaved into ribbons.
What made you come to Elk Grove?
I want to give a shout out to Steve Lee, the city council. He was the one that approached me on our first store in South Sac, and he told me that he loved the culture and the vibe of the place, and he wanted to bring it to Elk Grove, so now we're here.
This restaurant is very popular because their desserts are really delicious. Check out Elk Grove's newest hotspot, Vampire Penguin.
We certainly welcome Vampire Penguin to Elk Grove. I'm Trisha reporting for TJTV. Now back to you.
Thanks, Trisha. Vampire Penguin looks wonderful. Well, that's it for today's show. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of First Things First on TJTV. I'm Connor. See you tomorrow.
Well, there you have it. We just ran through all of this year's winning SEVA videos. If you'd like to enter the contest, please visit SECCTV.org for all of the details. The contest is free to all students in Sacramento County. Entries are due in early March every year. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel and subscribe on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Sam Spinner. Thanks for watching.